Welcome to Passport for Wellness. Today's excursion will start in 1 minute. Enjoy the sights and sounds of today's Passport for Wellness destination. Welcome to Passport for Wellness. Today's excursion starts now.
Well, hello there. Looks like you're ready to do some traveling today. I'm your conductor, Hank, and I am just thrilled that you'll be traveling with us today. Before we get started, make sure you have enough space around you so you can move freely without bumping into another traveler. That also means having your own chair to sit in when needed, as well as the person's chair in front of you to use for balance when standing. Make sure you have enough space to walk in place and to stretch your arms out wide and move from side to side. If you plan on sitting throughout our excursion, make sure you have enough space to move your legs and to stretch out your arms and can move from side to side. Just follow along with what you see on the screen at a comfortable pace. If you're sitting, make sure you follow along with what you see in this special box. Be sure to slow down or stop at any point if you feel lightheaded or dizzy. Only participate if you feel confident and comfortable moving your body throughout our travels. So, where are we headed today? Oh, so we're off to the land of winding rivers, alpine mountains, and blustery North Seas, home to many of the warring tribes that sacked Rome, only to become part of the Holy Roman Empire later. It's Germany. Why, I can remember traveling through the forests of Germany myself many years ago. Of course, I was much younger back then.
Thanks for joining me today. My name is Henry, and I'm so excited to be with you here in southern Germany. We're in Bavaria, to be exact, on a Spaziergang. It's a beautiful place for a leisurely walk, so let's get going. Bavaria has a long history. First as a duchy starting nearly 1,500 years ago, meaning a duke ruled it. Then as part of the Holy Roman Empire. Then as its own kingdom. Finally as a state of the Federal Republic of Germany. Bavarians have a strong, rich culture, and it's what many imagine when they think of Germany, like Lederhosen, Oktoberfest, grand operas, and alpine castles. Here, let's get up on our toes and stretch as tall as we can to catch a glimpse of Neuschwanstein, the famous Bavarian castle. It kind of looks like another one we all know. The one with the mouse? The Neuschwanstein was built in the 19th century by King Ludwig II, or Mad King Ludwig, as some have called him. He bankrupted the Bavarian treasury to build his castles and only slept 11 nights in his most famous one, which wasn't completed until after his death. Here, raise your knees up high and walk slowly, like we are walking very carefully in one of King Ludwig's castle's Linderhof Palace. There was a secret passage that led down to a crypt. This artificial dripstone cave, called a Venus Grotto, was complete with waterfalls, an interior lake, and a mythical shell boat. All so King Ludwig could relive great moments from Wagnerian operas. Wow. Okay, let's start walking normally. People often get inspired by music and arts to create something spectacular. What is a song or piece of music or maybe even a painting that could inspire you to create something spectacular? Sometimes it's just fun to let your mind race with ideas like that. I mean, why should we let our legs have all the fun? Okay, we're in Munich at the famed Deutsches Museum. Let's get moving. This is the world's largest museum of science and technology. This place is huge. Let's start pumping our arms like locomotives because one entire floor of the museum is dedicated to locomotives and another floor has ships and submarines, while another floor has airplanes and flying machines. There are a total of 8 floors of historical technology under one roof. Incredible! Okay, let's put your hands out and start flexing our fingers. There's an entire floor dedicated to musical instruments, so follow along. There are pianos, harpsichords, and organs, flutes and piccolos, clarinets and saxophones, trumpets and bugles, violins and violas, cellos and upright basses, and guitars, lutes, and mandolins. Great finger workout, everyone. One of the most extensive collections at the museum are weights and measures. Let's squat down like we are a kilogram of mass. Then stand up and stretch our arms out like we are a kilometer of length. And again, first a kilogram of mass, now a kilometer of length. These units of the metric system were first proposed in 1790. And the museum has many of those early metric units on display, but not as fun as ours just were. Okay, let's start walking again. When was the first time you can remember being introduced to the metric system? Was it at school? Or maybe while you were in another country? It can be tough converting units of measure when traveling. Visiting Munich is fun, especially when they hold Oktoberfest, which starts in September. The Germans sure like to have a good time drinking beer, eating, and dancing there. What was the reason for the first Oktoberfest? Was it to celebrate a successful harvest? To ward off evil spirits before the start of winter? Or was it a wedding celebration? The answer? It was for Prince Ludwig's wedding celebration to Princess Therese in 1810. This is Munich's famous city park called the English Garden. It's time for some liter lifts of beer in honor of Oktoberfest. And we're going two-fisted. Raise up your mug with one arm and then the other. The English Garden is one of Europe's largest urban public parks. Keep lifting those liters. The English Garden is bigger than Central Park in New York City, and it has a beer garden in the middle of it. Take that, Big Apple. Let's get moving. It may seem strange to have an English garden in Germany. The name comes from an informal landscape style of garden design that was popular when it was created in the late 1700s. Hey, how about some Bavarian dancing? Yep, it's polka time. Okay, start with some jaunty steps from one foot to the other, like this. Now, add in some dance hops. There you go. Okay, now that we have our steps down, let's strike up the band. Keep stepping and hopping. Boy, the polka sure is a lively dance. And fun too. Hey, let's add some yodeling to this party. Yodelay, hee-hoo. Give it a try. Yodelay, hee-hoo. Okay, maybe we let the band do the yodeling. Stop dancing. Now, bow to your dance partners. Woo! Way to polka, everyone. Okay, let's start walking to catch our breath. Dancing the polka is always great fun. What was the first dance you remember learning? Was it a classic like the waltz or tango? Or was it tap or ballet? Dancing sure is a great way to stay active. Wow, you are doing great on our travels through Germany today. We spent our time so far in Bavaria, going on Ein Spaziergang, seeing Neuschwanstein, and visiting the English Garden in Munich. This is a great time to Sitzsetzen and save some energy for the second half of our travels elsewhere in Germany. Grab a drink of water if you need to, or plan to have one after we've finished. Either way, we'll be back to continue our journey together soon. Oh, and see if you know the answer to these fun facts about Germany. Germany has had many different capital cities over the centuries. Today, the capital city of Germany is here, in Berlin. Let's go take a look. Today, Berlin is a global city of technology, culture, and science. It's home to famous universities, museums, orchestras, and sports teams, and also a hub for European rail and air transportation. One of Berlin's most famous landmarks is the Brandenburg Gate. Back during the Cold War, the Brandenburg Gate was off limits because it was so close to the Berlin Wall. Let's stop for a minute. Let's press our hands together. Berlin's past is full of tension like this. It was the capital city of Germany at the end of World War II, and it was sectioned off by the Allies. As tensions rose between the Soviet bloc and the West, Berlin became a symbol of a land and a people divided by politics and ideology. For nearly 30 years, the Berlin Wall separated the city into two halves, East and West Berlin. Whew, that was hard. Imagine actually living through it. In November of 1989, the barrier that divided the city came down. Swing your arms over your head and swing it back down with me. Once the border guards stepped aside, the people took to demolishing the wall with sledgehammers. They even used bulldozers and people power to topple sections of the wall over. Finally, after decades of separation and isolation, Berlin was once again a unified city. Okay, let's walk that off. The fall of the Berlin Wall was a memorable event. Do you remember where you were when the wall came down? Seeing those pictures on the TV of people standing on top of the wall celebrating? I'm sure it was a day many of them will never forget. And probably some of us too. Now let's get ready for some soccer action in the largest international soccer venue in Germany, the Olympia Stadium in Berlin. Soccer is the world's game, and in Germany, it's the people's favorite. Let's warm up. Pick up those knees to keep the ball up in the air. Okay, soccer is so popular in Germany, they have over 26,000 football clubs. So now let's loosen up our hips. Supporters sing and chant in the stands, and many also play on local teams. Now shake it off, like you're getting ready to go out into the pitch. That's what they call the field. Okay, let's get in the game. Use a chair for balance if you need to. Time for some penalty kicks. So first let's kick with your right leg and try and score. One more time and go! Now, with your other leg, take a shot. Let's take a shot and try to score and go! Now, we're on the other side of the ball. The goalie. Crouch down to get ready. Here comes the kick and block it. Oh, now to the left. Block. And now to the right. Block. Now back in the middle. And now left. And now right. And back to the middle. Woo! You guys are great goaltenders. Okay, let's start walking again. What was the biggest sporting event you ever saw? Was it the World Cup? How about the Olympics? Maybe it was the Super Bowl. Sports builds such great camaraderie both among teammates as well as fans, making it as good for the soul and spirit as it is for your mind and body. Soccer's greatest championship, the World Cup, has been won by Germany's national men's team how many times? Is it 2, 3, or 4 times? The answer? Germany has won the World Cup 4 times, in 1954, 1974, 1990, and 2014. We've got one last place to see here in Berlin, and it's a beaut, or should I say a bot. This is the Berlin Botanical Gardens and Botanical Museum with its famous Great Pavilion and origins that go back all the way to 1573. Let's do some speed walking. This place is too big to stroll around if you want to see it all. First stop, the giant lily pads in the Victoria Pavilion. Okay, use a chair for balance if you need to, because now we're going to leap from lily pad to lily pad. One of the biggest species is the Victoria Amazonica that can get up to 10 feet across on stalks up to 25 feet long. It was named after Queen Victoria, just like the pavilion. Okay, back to speed walking. We need to get to another one of the pavilions to see the dahlias bloom. Dahlias are native to Mexico, but here in the Berlin Botanical Gardens, they are the stars of the show when they bloom. Stop, squat down with me. Now let's rise up like a strong stalk and open up our arms above our heads with the colorful blossoming petals. Great blooms, everyone. Let's go again. Squat down. Now rise up strong and blossom all day long. Okay, back to speed walking. And one last botanical garden hotspot. Let's stop and smell the roses. Bend over at the waist and inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And one last time. Inhale. And exhale. These fragrant roses are a real passion for the Germans at the Berlin Botanical Garden. Okay, let's get back to walking, but at a more relaxed pace. The Berlin Botanical Gardens are over 43 hectares. That's over 100 acres. Just wanted to get one more shout out to the metric system. It was built at the turn of the 20th century and has over 22,000 different plant species on display, including its very own cactus pavilion. Boy, traveling across Germany sure has made me hungry. Good thing Germans are known for their hearty bratwurst and sauerkraut in a bun. With a glass of milk, that makes for a well-balanced meal, if you throw in a few vegetables. It's been great fun traveling across Germany with you. Thank you so much for coming along. Maybe we could do it again sometime. Maybe sometime soon. I certainly hope so. Until then, auf Wiedersehen, everyone!
I can remember that trip like it was yesterday. Or maybe it was even today. When I'm traveling, I like to stretch the muscles that I've used once our journey is done. If you're standing, have a seat. Let's first lace our fingers together and push your arms out forward in front of you. Oh, boy, that feels good. Next, let's lift our left knee up and pull it towards you. Excellent. Now let's do the same with our right knee. There you go. Okay, time now for a few deep breaths. Breathe in as far as you can, raise your arms up above your head. And breathe out as you move your arms to your side. Good job. Breathe in. Breathe out. I could just imagine what it must have been like hiking up to King Ludwig's castle, Neuschwanstein. Breathe in. Breathe out. Exploring the Deutsches Museum. Dancing the polka in Munich's English Garden. Remembering the fall of the Berlin Wall. Breathe in. Breathe out. And speed walking in the Berlin Botanical Gardens. A wunderbar time. Taking a fanciful journey like that today reminds me of all kinds of things. What did you remember from today's journey? It's always good to remember things like that. Until next time, make it a memorable day.